Hello and welcome to this cast of a ranked match between Autisme with the division Acorazada Brunet, one of the new divisions, against Washedtard with 31 Ja. I already advanced the replay to see the deployment, and the first thing I notice is that the deployment of Washedtard is a lot weaker on the south and more defensive, while we have a lot of scouts down here for Autisme on the blue side, and a bit more aggressive and also going towards the middle. The other forces are a bit more defensive in my opinion, but in the middle we don't have as much from both sides, so there will be a lot of action probably in the north, I assume. And then we're going to see how things play out if someone tries to push the middle or the south. I haven't seen the rest of the replay yet, so let's get right into it and see what happens. One of the units I'm interested to see is somewhere here, the B-Man. One of the air-to-ground rocket launchers of the new division. And I haven't seen much about it yet, so I'm interested to see how it plays out. There isn't much infantry. There's one unit in the north from the left side. And, well, I guess with the MG forces, let's see, they are kind of defensive. But we have a bit more infantry in the north from the blue side. So the blue forces in the south, despite being an advantage with our numbers, don't try to make a push. That's something where he could have taken an advantage out of the situation and tried to gain a bit more ground, maybe. I'm not a very good player myself, so it's a lot of assumptions more than really knowing. But one of the things I saw in casts a lot of the time is that you should try to gain as much information as possible so that you can get free ground. So the first concourse is dying in the south. So that it makes it even more open now for the blue player. So he tries to escape through the water, over the water. I was wondering why there was the smoke. It was probably the rocket from the north that you saw. There isn't much going on in the air so far. No scouting helicopters at the start, as a lot of divisions and players do nowadays. So there's a bit of battle going on here in the north now. I assume that blue wants to play a bit more defensive in the early game. That's why he has 4 MG squads and 3 Milans, I think. There was... Oh no, there wasn't one in the south. So he pushes forward with his scouts, with his infantry squad to scout, so that he knows if he can push the south. That seems very good. Good move. There's a bit of a lack of movement and recon in the middle to really know about the lack of forces on this side. And moving through here, where there's quite often scouts and ATGMs, is a rather dangerous move, as we can see. Red has an early lead with the points, but with the middle taken by blue. And this zone going into blue hands relatively soon. I think he will catch up very, very quickly. Reinforcements and up here to the north, so he wants to fortify the north more. It seems to be the focus of attention for both players at the moment. We have the first artillery piece. And the same on the other side with the M11. And a helicopter. A light one for 50 points. Maybe to test the AA network of the enemy. And 2 coups are brought in, so together with the AA we already have on the field, it's probably not going to be much airplay here on this map, because it's relatively tight. So that AA often, the AA often has an advantage. And the planes don't have an easy time on this map. The CV goes down on the north. This went quite in the favor of the red player. Didn't see everything that happened. An AA plane, I'm not sure against what. The reaction AA plane comes from the red side. But it's going straight into the AA of the blue players. I'm not sure if that wasn't a bit too deep now. But we don't have that many units here now. So maybe red will push soon. Some new tanks. T-72 is coming into the battlefield. Makes it even more likely that there's going to be a push soon. Oh, he wants to take this building now. Still not much movement in the south. I guess since blue has a tick advantage with the zones, his priority should be to defend up here, where the focus for red player in the attack is. While red obviously needs to try and find a way to get a zone. So far he's staying back with the tanks. So they're more for support and building up a big force. Maybe that Scott could be further up. Not sure if it has much of value here. Reinforcements coming for blue. But okay, I thought maybe the rocket will hit one. Oh, planes destroyed each other. So we have 2 AA planes lost now. Artillery is firing. Oh, the artillery had a nice hit. That's pretty convenient. To delay or even stop the push now. And no kill, but a lot of damage. That damage could be very vital here now. Troopers coming in. Artillery for red side is also shooting, but an empty location. But the push for red is still looking dangerous. There is no supply here so far. Unless I missed it. No repair or supply on the south either. He's now buying the supply for the units that were damaged by the artillery. But obviously it will take a lot of time now because the supply isn't here yet already. So maybe that's something that could have been done better by having a supply already at the front lines. And the AT plane goes down. Double coup in the middle. Another rocket artillery now here. It's not aiming at anything yet. Artillery also not aiming at anything. Blue artillery is firing, but I assume the Malyutka has moved. So it's not hitting. The artillery is not hitting. Point tick is going up for blue. MX goes down. That's quite unfortunate. And probably a bigger issue. Bigger issue. Since we have two mighty tanks up here. The MX-30E has 50 pen, but frontal armor 15, 90 pen gun. So there's a clear advantage on the red side at the moment. Supply is still not here. Artillery is aiming, but the rocket artillery is aiming at the blue artillery. I'm not sure if that's the best use of a rocket artillery. Other artillery is trying to get the scouts. Well, it's unlikely to hit based on where the circle is. AA is moving. Rejected before an artillery strike comes in, probably. But so far, blue's holding. He still has a bunch of infantry forces here. So red has to clear it before he can advance. And there's a bit of a push in the middle. So the ATGM and scouts here were defeated. So that can be nasty to cut off the reinforcement force. Reinforcement route. So that's something red now has to deal with. A lot more defense here in the south to make sure that nothing happens here. Blue is repairing. Oh, the T-72 is under fire from the AMX tanks. So that would be quite bad, just as bad as... Oh, the Fagot was. I thought the rocket was going for the transport, but it went for the Fagot behind. The rocket has no anti-tank missiles anymore. The rocket chopper. More supplies for this tank. These tanks. Blue recon in the middle now. So down here, blue lost his forces. And I'm pretty sure this one will die as well, yeah. So the threat on this part of the map is now removed. Red can focus on the north again. Rocket artillery. Oh yeah, that's not a bad spot. Supply truck is destroyed. Scout AMX is destroyed. Infantry take damage, but is not destroyed. But rocket artillery is now out of supplies. It's moving away from the supply truck. But I assume we're supposed to bring it up. The supply truck is empty, so the tanks are still not going to be fully repaired. And we now have a big fight for the zone that was taken while I wasn't looking. So the tick has stopped, but blue still has an advantage by being in the lead with the points. And having some damaged units as well. BMPs were destroyed. AT plane not hit by the A, but it goes back in, so second chance for the AA to hit it. Amphibious transport was destroyed. Still waiting for a target, but the AA plane comes in and it will fly over the coop, so it's probably going down for this. But yeah, the AT plane goes down. So a trade of a C-15 against the AT plane. The MiG. I still believe on the ground red has the advantage. Oh, and AA is also destroyed by artillery. rocket artillery is getting supplies, but the group has no supplies anymore now. So that's something maybe. Play a role. Rocket artillery from blue. If it hits the CV, but the CV gets out in time. So it was a good try, but sadly didn't work out, and more losses. But wait, I'm not sure if that was the artillery, but it did kill the CV. So that's something to look out for now. I don't believe there's another CV in the north. We only have the one in the south. So if blue can recapture the zone. I think blue doesn't have a CV in the area either. Only one in the center. But it's still a problem since red has to take the advantage and has to take more zones. So we'll probably soon see another CV. An artillery piece added. The artillery has been quite effective since both sides are a bit in some defensive positions. So the artillery often has something to hit, where units are being repaired, supplied, waiting for the next movement. We have the MX-30M2, EM2, with 10 frontal armor and 70 pen over here. That will be quite helpful. ATGM. No supplies for the ATGM vehicle on the Milan. So that would be helpful if that would get supplied at some point. Either it moves down or the supply moves up. And we have more forces in the center now. So after, what's this zone called? Alpha. After Alpha was taken by red, I guess there's a bit more focus to the center now. Because red either has to go to Bravo or to X-Ray. And X-Ray gives more points. Oh no, it doesn't. Those two zones, but X-Ray is technically a bit closer, I would say. So it might be easier. But both give 2 points. So red would take either. ATGM going down to the artillery. It's even double artillery from 2 locations firing at the same spot. The rocket is going back. That rocket is out of ammo. Rocket artillery. Oh, I think I missed it, but the artillery on the blue side went down. Like the normal artillery, not the rocket artillery. And the OT that went over the water earlier made its way here. It doesn't have a weapon, so it can't really put pressure onto the supply lines. But it can give some vision. So maybe it's just to see ahead of time if there's an attack coming in the south. Now we have a bit of a battle down here, up here. Immediately smoke from all AMX. It's a bit overkill, probably, but if you're in a hurry, I can understand it. I would probably do the same. And more artillery fire in the north. The supply went up, and probably just to go down. Oh, the supply truck at least will make it out. Oh, they will all make it out alive. So at least that's a little victory. And that was a B-man fire just now. And it goes down the moment I talk about it. Happens. And we have a lot of AMX tanks now in the north for blue. So they will use their speed to wreak a bit of havoc, destroy some units up there, while here the MG makes sure that the infantry can't just run over here. AT helicopter providing support from the back, so that if any vehicles try to move forward, that will be an issue. And rocket artillery making a disaster zone for Red on the zone. And a plane. We haven't seen a plane for a long time. And that's gone. Artillery is probably a smarter choice for this map in this moment than single planes. If you have a bunch of planes together, maybe that's an option, but not a single plane. Trading the plane for one helicopter. I believe the helicopter survived, and it's, well, I mean, it's a 155 points helicopter, so it's not a cheap one. But since it doesn't go down, obviously wasn't worth it. And rocket artillery to back here. I assume it was supposed to be counter battery against the artillery from Red, but nothing here now. Maybe the AA will walk right through. Plane goes down, AT plane, but not before taking down an MX, I assume. I assume that was a plane that killed it. I am still having a bit of a hard time to recognize where I have to put my attention, but I'm sure that will go better as I continue to cast and notice where the real important stuff is happening. Plane goes down, or not before getting a kill on the chopper. I assume we have another chopper. No, we don't. I'm not sure if it was worth it to suicide the plane for the chopper, but I mean, if it was a plane he bought earlier, then maybe... Oh, T-72 goes down. It feels a bit like Red is losing the advantage up in the north. Blue is trying to capitalize on that. And rocket artillery will take care of this. Probably. A lack of infantry to support the push though. And not enough rockets in the artillery to really take care of this. And rockets from the south, from the Marutka plane, but an AA plane. And a push now in the center, where a lot of units have been lost for Blue, including the leader. So that's very scary now for Blue. Me chopper in the back. So Blue will take the zone, but it's not very heavily defended. Obviously Red doesn't know that, but that's an issue. The artillery is going for the AA, but the push in the center is now the problem. And the HA-15, the 55-point chopper, that's where a plane suicided earlier, so 55 points was probably not worth it. At least from a point of view. From a speed and tempo aspect maybe. So the AT plane comes in, goes for the AA, but goes down still to the double coup. Still supplies going on here. Not fully supplied rocket artillery. And the push hits, or gets hit by the rocket artillery now from Blue. But I assume it wasn't full or it stopped manually. I don't think that was a full load of rockets. P-72s go down too. And the AMX, will they get the Malutka? Yes, they get it before the rocket hits. And more rocket artillery. But no more supplies. I believe Red could push a bit harder in the north, but obviously doesn't have the information. While in the center, I believe he could also push the center, but the new reinforcement that came through the south, obviously a big problem now. Not sure if he shouldn't unload. Seems like something, yeah, well, now he does it. I'm always a bit scared when transports with units inside are so far in front of, so they just get one shot and the infantry dies immediately. That would be kinda unpleasant. CV tries to get in, maybe assumes it's still free, but yeah, as we saw, Blue moved a bit of units from the south up to the center. Rockets flying from both sides. A lot of artillery play. I like that. I'm usually having problems to figure out when the best moment is to get the artillery. But once you have it, you can do a lot with it. It's always nice. And they really do a lot with those rocket artilleries. And the Acacia? Yeah, Acacia on the other side as well. Coup out of ammo. I'm not sure that will matter, since we don't have that much airplay. South uncontested. But I like the match. It's a bit of a defensive artillery play. Now with the AMX in the center. A bit more movement. I'm not sure if Blue really needs it, since he has the +2 at the moment. So he isn't the one who has to push. And he doesn't have that much of an advantage that he could push further with it. Unit-wise, point-wise, absolutely. The T-72 obviously is a threat. And well, they both go down at the same time. So without scouts and a bit of meat shield in front, was a bit of a dangerous move. Lost a few important tanks. We only have 12 minutes remaining, so maybe the point lead will be enough already. If there isn't a major change in the zones. But even if Red retakes the zone or takes the zone in the center and has a +2 himself, it would still be tricky. We have a T-72 back here, one here, one up here. T-55s still not fully repaired. I believe that's the one who wasn't fully repaired earlier. The helicopters got shot down. I think if I would be in the position, with all the knowledge that I have as a caster obviously, I think the smartest decision from the Red perspective would be to push center, because he needs the +2. Just taking Alpha wouldn't give an advantage on the points, so he has to go to the center. So move some units to the back down here, push this zone, force the issue. I mean, you only have 11 minutes left and 1,000 points to gain. So you have to push now. It's a losing situation if you don't push somewhere. So you have to take a risk, even if that means being less defended in the north, maybe even try to move a bit forward in the south to just to check how much is there. Or if it goes on for much longer and you need even more point, then push through the north so that you can take both of these zones and threaten the reinforcement route over here. But it's obviously difficult. Blue also knows this, blue will defend. But as we can see, there isn't that much here. So from our perspective as casters, we know that red should push this place, and that he should push now, not later. And that he can. That's a amount of units are so few that he can push now. But it's always easy as a caster where you see everything. I also know from playing myself that sometimes you just don't notice the timer. You don't know that you're at that much of a disadvantage already, that only 10 minutes are left now. Even with a warning that comes on the screen sometimes, you're so lost in thought and with your planning what you want to do that you don't notice it. So I'm not going to blame anyone for anything they do. I would probably have lost already, so I'm not going to smack talk or complain about what others do. I'm just trying to give input from my perspective as a caster what might be a good choice or what might have been the choice that was needed at the moment. But I believe both of these players are much more aware of the things they did wrong. So a lot of damage done by the rocket artillery, but we also have quite a few of destroyed units on the blue side. So the red push is moving forward. There still are a few blue units down here. If the CV goes down, that would be quite the problem. There's no other CV as far as I can see. So that damaged BMP is the only hope at the moment. And one of these infantry units goes forward as soon as the zone gets taken, or this AMX gets a shot, but that's probably going to die now, yeah. But if the infantry moves here, gets a kill, then or it just moves into is it going to die before the zone gets captured? I think yes. I think it will. Well, close, but yes. So now we have a stop tick, but no CV anywhere close by. No CV in this now here. But it's a bit less than 8 minutes. By the time the CV is here, yes, the forces of blue will be dead, but there isn't enough time left, I feel like. And we're making a bit of a counter push, just trying to pick off some units, put some pressure, get some distraction, get some ground, but I'm not sure if that's going to be very successful. Rockets on these MX, rocket on that MX, so those two go down, the scout goes down, those two are damaged and under fire. I mean, they did destroy one of the T-72s, but yeah, red has an advantage in forces. I guess they're getting off some free shots, so that's nice. Chopper coming in from the south towards the center. Another MX goes down. Artillery not taking aim at the moment. And artillery here is trying to shoot at something that isn't there or there anymore. Oops, Still alive. Yeah, I don't believe that +2 will be enough for blue, for red, to catch up to blue. So even once the CV gets here and takes the zone, he still has to figure out what to do. By the time he takes, I think, Bravo? Yeah, Alpha. He still has to send the CV up there. So there won't be much time left. I'm not sure. I don't think there's enough time left now. But he tries. I mean, that's also something you have to try, you have to keep pushing, you have to test things. T-55 goes down, infantry goes down. I think it was infantry. Or was it the transport? I'm not sure. Oh, the center is on red hands now. An MG to help with to protect from infantry push. Oh, AT plane against CV. That would have been nice if he would have killed the CV, but the second CV is already underway, but I don't know why it's going to the center. Like, that's the wrong spot. I need to take this one. Neither is moving there. And the third one? The third one is going to the north. I don't like that. I mean, we are at a point in time, match time, where you have to push and go all in. It doesn't matter if you lose all your forces, because if you don't move then, you will lose anyway. So you have to try it. Like, that's the best thing you can do, you have to try. AT plane goes down. One CV is destroyed, so I guess it fulfilled its mission. But as we saw, another CV is already coming in. One is here. I assume that's supposed to be the protection in case blue gets a CV in here, that you can challenge the zone and protect it. But now we have a sneaky MX CV even taking this zone. So there will be even less points for red. T-72 badly damaged. And the GG is called. Pretty similar kill ratio. So I'm not sure what the main issue was. Maybe too late to push for red. Let me know in the comments what you think would have been the right play by red to turn things around. Thank you for watching.